All right, lesson 2, polynomial operations, multiplying a polynomial by a monomial. All right, so we are going to talk about algebra tiles just a little bit. I just kind of skipped them in the last lesson, but we'll just talk about them a little bit. All right, so when we do algebra tiles, we're talking about trying to create the area of a rectangle. So in essence, this is your width, and this is your length. Do you know what I mean? So length times width creates an area. So we just fill this in. We've done this before. And you fill in the box perfectly to make a rectangle. There should be no little pieces sticking out here, okay? Nothing out here, nothing going this way. Nope. It should be a perfect rectangle. Okay, and then a positive times a positive. We shade those in, right? Good. Okay, so what we end up saying is that we have 2 blocks on the top, multiplying x plus 1 down here. And when we do that, we end up with 2x blocks, that's those, and then plus 2 more. So you'll see that what we actually did, if we weren't using algebra tiles, is we took this 2 and multiplied it into that set of brackets. That's kind of what we're doing. Here's one. Ready? X here, there it is, times x plus 3. There they are. So we just fill this in. Make sure you fill in the entire box. So we go the length of 1, the length of x. There we go. And then if we were to shade that in, this would be a positive x squared, positive x, positive x, positive x. So we have x squared plus 3 x's. Hopefully this is coming back to you. Sometimes they can be negative. It's okay. So negative 3. So we're all right. Just draw your boxes. The only difference is here that those are going to remain negative since they're different colors. Since one is negative and one is positive, then we have negative blocks. But 2 negatives together right here, we will have to shade those in. Okay, because a negative and a negative make a positive. So our final answer is 3 x's, and they're negative, plus 3. Oh, check this out. See them? All right, I'm just going to fill out the last one. We'll do letter E. Here's my x minus 1. There it is. And here's my 2x's. What happens when I do that? Well, this block will go here and then down. So fill out the rest of it. This will go here and then down. And similar again. Okay, now we just decide shading. If they're the same color, we shade it. So these are the same. They're going to be positive. Okay. But if they're different colors, we leave them. So this negative over here with this positive end up resulting in negative blocks. So our answer turns out to be 2x squareds minus 2x's. Check this out. Yeah, cool. That's how I do it with algebra tiles. I could go backwards. I could say each diagram below illustrates the result of a product of a monomial and a binomial. So you could say, okay, they have to be positive blocks. So I could do these blocks here. I know that's what they are. And then this would have to be a positive, and these would have to be positive. But this last unit block would have to be a negative block to end up with a negative. Or the alternative would be do your diagram here. They could both be negative, and then this one would have to be a positive. That would work as well, wouldn't it? So state the polynomial represented in each of the diagrams. So in diagram 1, I have an x block multiplying by 2 x's minus 1. And in my other diagram, I have a negative x block multiplying a negative 2x plus 1. Okay. Write each product as sum or difference in terms. I did all that. I'm good. Go on. Okay, so what we need to tell you is the distributive property, and I already taught you this a little bit in grade 9. We can multiply this 2 into this bracket. Now, everything gets multiplied by 2. That's what it means to distribute. It means to hand out. Don't forget, the x goes into here, and then x times 3 is 3x. Don't forget, you'll have 2 terms. 2x times x is 2x squared. And to the minus 2 will be minus, do your sign, then your number, 2 times 2 is 4, and then your x. And I could do it one more time. I could take this negative 3 and go in here. Negative 3x, do my sign, and then my number. And this 2x could go in the front. Sometimes that's easier. Just put him in the front and then multiply him in. So 2x squared minus 2x. Okay, talking about the distributive property. This a needs to be distributed or handed out or multiplied by both things. All right, so let's just do letter B here. Negative 5 in here, multiplying, becomes negative 10x squared. Just make this bigger for you. Then we're going to take negative 5 times the x. And last but not least, the negative 5 times a negative 6 is a positive 30. Understand? And if they're at the back of the deal like this, I just move it to the front because I like to go forward. So let's get rid of that guy. Put him in the front. Now you can go ahead and go forward with your multiplication. X to the, remember, if the bases are the same and you're multiplying, keep the base and add the exponents. That becomes a 5. Then minus 2x squared. Okay, 3 terms, no big deal. Take this, take the sign in front and multiply it. Minus 21x squared. Watch your sign. A negative times a negative. Positive. 6xy. Negative times a positive is a negative. 3xz. All right? That's called expanded. That's expanding the polynomial expressions. Okay, so they get a little more complicated down here. Here's where I would say to you, be really sure you know when you're multiplying and when you're combining or adding and subtracting. So right here, there's multiplication. Right here, there's multiplication occurring. This is not multiplying by anything. So copy down the 6. Don't worry about it. Just leave it out there. It's not being multiplied. And take the minus 4 and multiply inside. So minus 32x minus 4. Now go combine your like terms. Take the sign in front. That's a 2. And that's as much as you can do. You cannot combine those because they're not like terms. Okay, let's watch over here. Here's multiplication and here's multiplication. In between, we're not multiplying. So let's just multiply these together. 8x minus 12. Now here, we're going to take the sign in with us when we go and get a negative 2x and a positive 12. So you did your multiplication. Notice how I copied down a negative sign here. We're subtracting those 2 different halves. Now go collect like terms. Take the sign in front. Minus 12 and plus 12 are gone. That was nice. All right, I ask you again. Oops. I ask you again, where are you multiplying? Right here. And that's all. So here we go. 15x to the third minus 35x squared plus 5x. Now we have to subtract all of this. So minus 4x. Do not forget that minus sign. All right. Now combine like terms. I'm going to start with my highest power, which is a 15x cubed. There is no other. They're the only ones. Now I'm going to get my squared terms. They're both negative. That means I owe 38x squared. And lastly, I will go get my x terms. 5x minus 4x is 1x. And you can't go any further. That's it. All right. Okay, last question, I think. Yep. It says determine a simplified expression for the area by the given shape by adding the two areas of the rectangles. Okay, this gets a little complicated. So you can cut this any way you want. You can cut it this way, and you can kind of decide what you want to do. If you cut it that way, this side is 2x, which leaves you, this is 2x, which leaves you 2x down here. I think this is the easiest. So let's go find this blue box first. Okay? If we were to find the area of the blue box, we would have to go length times width. So that would be 2x times x plus 5. All right, do the math. Multiply this inside. Okay, that's what this one is, 2x squared plus 10x. Okay, now let's go do the other box. So what's the area of that one? Well, length times width again. So it's 2x times 3x plus 2, right? Length and width. So we end up with 6x squared plus 4x. To find them in total, add them all together. 8x squared and 14x. Done. Good. The other thing you could have done is taken the area of the whole thing, pretend it wasn't a chunk missing out of there. And this side length here is 3x plus 2 times 4x. And then we could have taken away the area of that box. I'm not going to show that to you, but you could do that instead. Sometimes that's easier. So just remember that's an option. Okay, that's all I have to do today.